You ever notice how people don't look at you unless they want something? No, no, not just look at you, but see you. It's funny, ain't it? You spent your whole life trying to prove to them you're worth it. You bled for it, you cried for it, you broke yourself into tiny little pieces for it. And they still turned their heads, didn't they? Because, sweetheart, they never wanted to see you. Not the real you. Here's the kicker. You didn't need to prove yourself. No, no, no. That's what terrifies them. You existed in your raw, unpolished state, and that was enough to make their skin crawl. Enough to shatter their illusion of control, because they hate what they can't tame. They hate what doesn't bend. You think you're weak because they said so. You think you're broken because they treated you like garbage. Ha! They don't know what broken looks like. I do. Broken is crawling out of a pit they dug for you, with your hands bloodied and your soul hanging by a thread, and still daring to laugh in their faces. You want to know why they keep coming after you? Why they whisper behind your back, spread their little lies? It's because you exist. You, with all your scars and all your failures, are a walking reminder that they're cowards. They see you, and they see everything they could never be. Bold, unrelenting, untamed. That's why they tried to clip your wings before you could even figure out how to fly. They're scared of what you'll become when you stop caring what they think. That's the big joke, you see. They built this world on lies, on rules that keep people like you and me in chains. And the moment you stop trying to live by their rules, you become dangerous. Oh, yeah, dangerous. Because nothing's scarier to them than someone who doesn't need their approval. They'll call you names. Oh, they'll throw every word they can think of at you. Failure, freak, loser. Why? Because it's easier for them to tear you down than to admit they're terrified of you. Because deep down, they know. They know you're not like them. You've been to the edge of the abyss. You've stared into the void, and you didn't flinch. Let me tell you something about people. They want you weak. They want you soft, apologizing for just existing. They want you to bend over backwards, begging for scraps of their approval. But not you. No, you're not here to fit into their little box, to play by their rules. You're here to break the damn box. You ever notice how the ones who scream the loudest are the most fragile? They build their whole identity around tearing others down. And the moment you stop caring, they crumble. Poof. Gone. Because their power was never real. It was just borrowed from your doubt, your fear. You stop feeding their lies, and suddenly they're nothing. Nothing. You're stronger than you think, kid. You've survived things they couldn't even imagine. Every scar, every tear, every betrayal, it didn't break you. No, it made you sharper, harder. They wanted to bury you, but they forgot you're a seed. And seeds grow in the darkest places. They want you to think you're alone, that nobody sees you, nobody cares. But let me tell you a little secret. The ones who really matter, they're watching. Quietly maybe, but they're watching. And when you rise, and you will rise, they'll be the ones who stand beside you. Not because you begged them to, but because they saw your fire and it lit something in them. You didn't need to prove yourself. You were enough from the start. And that's what broke them. Because they wanted to control you, to break you into something small and manageable. But you were never meant to be small. You were meant to burn. So, let them talk. Let them lie. Let them try to bring you down. And every time they do, remind yourself of this. They're scared of you. Scared of your strength, your resilience, your fire. You're a storm they can't outrun, a wildfire they can't extinguish. And when the day comes, when you stand tall and unbroken, they'll finally see what they were afraid of all along. You. Just you. You know, they'll tell you it's your fault. Always. That's the easiest card they've got. You're too much, they'll say. You're too different. Too angry. Too quiet. Too loud. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as they can twist the knife and make you question yourself. That's the game. They play it well. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. It was never about you being too much. It was about them being too little. They look at you and they see everything they could have been if they had the guts. If they weren't so afraid of standing out, of being seen for who they really are. Empty, hollow, pretending. You don't need to pretend. That's what keeps them up at night. They tried to make you believe you're fragile. They needed you to believe it because if you ever realized the truth, it'd be over for them. You're not fragile. You're a bomb waiting to go off. A storm brewing just under the surface, and they're terrified of what'll happen when you finally let go. When you stop holding back, you think they pity you. No, they envy you. Every scar you've got is a story they're too afraid to live. Every time you've been knocked down and gotten back up, you've done something they can't even imagine. They don't pity you. They hate you for surviving, for thriving in spite of it all. And let me tell you something about hate. It's the most honest emotion they'll ever give you. Hate comes from fear. It's born from weakness. When they hate you, They're handing you the proof that you've already won. You don't need their love. You don't need their approval. All you need is to keep going, to keep standing, to keep proving them wrong just by existing. They'll never admit it, you know. Not to your face. They'll keep pretending they're better than you, that they've got it all figured out. But behind closed doors, they're falling apart. They're choking on the lies they told themselves just to get through the day. And you're the mirror they can't look into without breaking. Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into their tiny little world. You weren't born to be small. You weren't born to be quiet. You were born to shatter ceilings, to make noise, to leave a mark so big they'll have to rewrite the rules just to explain you. They want you quiet because they know the second you find your voice, it's over for them. They want you obedient because they know the second you realize your power, they won't be able to control you. And they hate you because deep down they know you've already won. But you gotta see it for yourself. You gotta feel it. Every time they try to bring you down, every time they throw their words like knives, you've gotta remind yourself, you're still here. You're still standing. And that's more than they'll ever be able to handle. You didn't need their approval. Not then, not now. And that's what kills them. That's what eats them alive from the inside out. Because they've spent their whole lives chasing something you've had all along. Freedom. Real freedom. The kind that comes when you stop caring about their rules, their opinions, their lies. They'll try to make you feel like you're alone, like nobody's ever felt what you're feeling. But here's the truth. They've all felt it. Every single one of them. They just don't have the guts to admit it. They don't have the courage to face the darkness like you have. You didn't run from it. You didn't hide. You stood there, staring into the abyss, and you survived. You clawed your way out, and now you're here. And that, my friend, is the scariest thing in the world to them. Let them talk. Let them throw their stones. Because every insult, every laugh, every whisper behind your back, it's just proof. Proof that you're living rent-free in their heads. Proof that they see you, even when they pretend not to. Proof that you've already won the game they didn't even know they were playing. You didn't need to prove yourself. You were enough from the start, and that's what broke them. That's what will always break them. So stop trying to make them see you. Stop waiting for their validation. You're a storm. You're chaos. And they'll never be ready for you. You think this is the end of the road, don't you? You think all those years of carrying their weight, all those nights of hearing their voices in your head telling you you're not enough have finally broken you. But let me tell you something, this isn't the end. Oh no, it's just the beginning. See, they want you to believe you're done, that you've hit your limit. Because the closer you get to breaking free, the louder they scream. It's their last-ditch effort to chain you down, to keep you small. But here's the thing about chains. They're only as strong as the fear that holds them together. You know what makes you different? What sets you apart? It's not strength. No. Strength comes and goes. It's not talent either. There's always someone more talented, someone faster, someone smarter. What makes you different is that you don't quit. They've thrown everything at you, every insult, every betrayal, every dagger in the back, and you're still standing. You're still breathing. That's what they can't handle. That's what keeps them up at night. Because they know they'd crumble under half the weight you carry. They love to call you a failure, don't they? Oh, look at you, they say. Still trying, still hoping. But let me ask you this. What have they ever done? Huh? What mountains have they climbed? What fires have they walked through? Oh, that's right. None. Because they don't try. They sit in their little bubbles, safe and comfortable, watching from the sidelines, pointing fingers at anyone brave enough to step into the arena. Failure. You're not a failure. You're a fighter. Every time they pushed you down, you got back up. Every time they told you to quit, you took another step forward. And that's what terrifies them. Because they know they could never do it. They've never even tried. And they hate you for having the guts to keep going. You see, life isn't about winning or losing. It's not about success or failure. It's about endurance. It's about how many hits you can take and still keep moving forward. And you've taken more hits than anyone should have, too. And you're still here. That's your victory. That's your proof. They don't understand it, you know. They don't understand how someone like you, someone they've tried so hard to break, can still stand tall. And because they don't understand it, they fear it. People fear what they don't understand. That's why they lash out. That's why they try to tear you down. It's not about you. It's about them. Their fear. Their weakness. Stop living for them. Stop trying to prove anything to people who don't even matter. You don't owe them a damn thing. Not your time, not your energy, not your pain. Let them talk. Let them point. Let them do whatever they need to do to feel better about their own pathetic lives. Because while they're busy tearing you down, you'll be building something they can't touch, something they can't destroy. And when you rise, when you stand tall in the light of your own fire, they'll finally realize they never had any power over you. They'll call it arrogance, you know. They'll call it pride or ego or whatever makes them feel better about their own insecurities. But don't let that fool you. Confidence isn't arrogance. Knowing your worth isn't ego. It's survival. And you've survived more than most of them ever will. Let them think what they want. Let them choke on their opinions. Because at the end of the day, their words mean nothing. Nothing. The only voice that matters is the one in here. And that voice, it's telling you to keep going, to stand up, to fight, not for them, not to prove anything, but for you, because you're worth it, because you've always been worth it. And deep down, they know it too. That's why they're so desperate to tear you down. Let them try. Let them throw everything they've got. Because you're untouchable, unbreakable. And when they finally see that, when they finally realize they can't stop you, they'll crumble under the weight of their own lies. You didn't need to prove yourself. You never did. And that's what broke them. That's what will always break them. You think you're tired now? You think you've given everything you have? No. You're not done yet. Not even close. You've barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. You see, they wanted you to believe that exhaustion was the end, that the pain, the struggle, the emptiness, it meant you'd reached your limit. But pain is just a doorway. And on the other side of it, that's where the real power lies. They've been feeding you lies since the day you took your first breath. Lies about strength, lies about success, lies about happiness. They told you that strength means never falling, that success is measured by numbers and trophies, that happiness is something you find outside yourself. But here's the truth. Strength isn't about how many times you stand tall. It's about how many times you hit the ground and still find the will to crawl. And success? Success isn't what they think it is. It's not the applause, the validation, the shiny little badges they hand out like candy. Success is surviving. It's waking up every day and choosing to keep going, even when every bone in your body screams at you to stop. They want to convince you that you're broken, that you're less because of the scars you carry. But scars are proof that you survived. Proof that no matter how hard they tried to destroy you, you didn't let them win. Every cut, every bruise, every tear, they're not weaknesses. They're armor. They're your story etched into your skin, and no one can take that away from you. They tried to rewrite your story, didn't they? See, this tried to paint you as the villain, so the failure, the outcast. But let me ask you this. Who writes the story? Them or you? Who decides how this ends? It's you. Always you. They don't get to decide who you are. They don't get to define you. Their words, their judgments, their opinions, they're nothing but static, noise. And you're the signal. You're the one who gets to choose what matters, what sticks, what fades into the background. You know what's funny? They're so afraid of you, so terrified of what you might become if you ever stopped listening to their lies. That's why they try so hard to keep you down. It's not about you being weak. It's about them being weak. They need you to doubt yourself, because without your doubt, they have no power. Without your fear, they're nothing. You think they care about you? No. They care about what they can take from you. Your time, your energy, your spirit. They're parasites, feeding off your insecurity, your self-doubt. And the moment you stop giving them that, they'll wither away. They'll vanish like the shadows they are. Because that's all they've ever been. Shadows. Empty, hollow, powerless. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to make them comfortable. You're here to be you. Loud, unapologetic, unbreakable. They can't handle that. They don't know what to do with someone who refuses to fit their mold, who refuses to bow down, who refuses to play by their rules. And that's their problem, not yours. They'll never understand you. And that's a good thing, because you weren't made to be understood by the likes of them. You were made to stand out, to rise above, to be the fire that burns away their lies. They'll try to smother you. They'll try to put out your flame. But flames like yours, they don't die. They consume. They transform. They turn everything they touch into something new, something powerful, something unstoppable. They think they've seen your worst. They think they know your limits, but they haven't seen anything yet. They haven't seen what happens when you stop holding back, when you stop letting their voices drown out your own. When you finally embrace the power that's been inside you all along. You didn't need to prove yourself. You never did. And that's what terrifies them. That's what will always terrify them. because they know deep down that you're unstoppable. That no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, you'll keep going. You'll keep rising. You'll keep burning. They want you to think you're done, don't they? That this point right here, this moment where the weight feels unbearable, is where it all ends. But it isn't. No, this is where it begins. You think the fire inside you is dying, that it's just embers now. But here's the thing about embers. They don't disappear. They don't fade. They sit there quietly, waiting for the right spark. And when that spark comes, boom, the whole world burns. They've been lying to you your whole life, feeding you this illusion that you're not enough, that you're too damaged, too lost, too you. And why? Because they need you to believe it. They need you to doubt yourself so they can feel better about their own empty lives. But let me ask you something. When did their opinion become your truth? Huh? Who gave them that power? Oh, right. You did. That's the punchline, isn't it? The cruel little joke they've been playing. They've convinced you that you need their validation, their approval. But here's the truth. You've never needed them. Not their words, not their applause, not their fake smiles. You've always been enough. Even when you were on your knees, even when the world turned its back on you, even when the people you trusted the most tore you apart, you were enough. They hate you because you don't fit, because you don't play by their rules, because no matter how hard they try to box you in, you keep breaking out. And oh, how that scares them. You, with your scars and your rage and your unshakable will to keep going, they can't handle it. They can't handle you. So they call you names. They spread their lies. They whisper behind your back. But here's the thing about whispers. They're weak. They're hollow. They mean nothing. And you're not hollow. You're not weak. You're the storm that drowns their whispers. The fire that burns through their lies. You don't need their permission to be great. You don't need their acceptance to keep going. You don't need their damn validation to exist. You're here. You're breathing. And that's enough. That's always been enough. They want you to forget that. They want you to believe that your worth is something they get to decide. But it's not. Your worth isn't up for debate. It's not something they can take away. It's yours. And it's untouchable. You know what they fear the most? It's not your strength. It's not your resilience. It's your freedom. Your ability to walk away from their games, their lies, their chains. The moment you realize you don't need them, that you never needed them, that's the moment you win. And oh, they'll try to pull you back. They'll try to guilt you, to shame you, to drag you down into their pit of misery. But you're done playing their game. You're done shrinking yourself to make them comfortable. You're done proving yourself to people who don't even matter. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're a survivor, a fighter, a force of nature they'll never be able to contain. And that's what terrifies them. That's what keeps them up at night, tossing and turning, wondering how someone like you can keep going despite everything they've thrown at you. They don't understand it. They don't understand you, and they never will, because they've never had to fight the battles you fought. They've never had to claw their way out of the darkness like you have. They've never had to face their demons and come out stronger on the other side. You didn't need to prove yourself. Not then. Not now. And that's what broke them. That's what will always break them. Because they wanted you to beg. They wanted you to kneel. They wanted you to give up. But you didn't. You stood tall. You kept going. You showed them that no matter how many times they tried to knock you down, you'd always get back up. And that's what makes you unstoppable. So go ahead. Keep rising. Keep fighting. Keep being the storm they can't outrun, the fire they can't extinguish, because you're more than they'll ever be able to handle. And when they finally realize that, when they finally see you for what you truly are, they'll wish they'd never tried to break you in the first place.